Anybody hear me?
Good evening.
Good
Yes,
evening.
we can hear you.
All right, good evening, Prest. Good evening, Taiwo, Charles, Francis, and Lydia. Good evening, everybody. Yeah,
Good evening.
Francis, what's up? I just got your
Good
message.
evening.
I
Since
just got your message on the group,
yesterday,
and I just replied. Sincerely, my network has been really bad. Really, really
problem. As
bad.
far as you replied.
Okay. Yes, and I think it's not much of a problem. I think the reason why it's looking like it is big is because you're actually zooming 90%. Yeah, zoom is it? You actually have 90% zoom on your this thing. Let me show you what I'm talking about. On your Figma board.
Okay, 90% zoom.
Yeah,
Wait.
that's why. Let me show you. I'm coming. Can you also my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay. The reason why it is looking kind of big is if you look at this place that I have 11%, let me see if you can see. Can you see my mouse?
Yes.
Yeah, I see this place that has 11%.
Yeah.
Yours is at 50. And this is what 50
Oh.
will look like. 50, yeah, something around this size. So you might be looking at it that, okay, this frame is actually too big or it's taking the entire screen. But meanwhile,
Yes.
you can just zoom in like this to your taste, like to your satisfaction, to what is convenient for you. You can zoom in and zoom out. You can also do that here by coming here and click on zoom to fit. So, but zoom to sometimes we just show you everything that is on your board. You'll be able to see it. Then from there, you will now start zooming, enlarging to the point where you become satisfied.
Like, even after I like zoomed out, when I
Mm.
tried I like the heading, I tried typing in the style guide when I had the 140 line height percent. So when I put it, they were like, they had to like break into the next line. Like before I even put the 20 px and the percentage of the
Okay,
line height.
Are you sure your this one is not too big? It's not the one you put in 150, 140.
No, it's the other one
This
that I put in
one.
140. Yes, the other one was in 0.
This one. No, this one was in there. What about this one? How about this one? This one that has 14 point something.
Like, I think that one was the normal font. So it was in like 12 or either 12 or 26. It's okay, so for the heading, it was in 26.
So you shouldn't have any
26.
problem. It's just fine. 26, 150 is fine. 140 is fine. Personally, for me, I use 150 for body test. And for header, I use 140 or 120. Just like Miss Emike said, it is just depending on how you see it. And also some font style for some fonts themselves. There are times that you might not even use percentage. You just add, let me say, this is 14. You just add 8 to this 14 to make it 14 plus 8 to be what? 22, I guess. Am I correct?
Okay, so if yes.
Yeah, so you just
Is
want
it
to do
40?
22. So if this is 24, you just add 8 to this 24. As you can see now that is in 24 and this is in 22. It's looking clumsy here. But if I had 8
Okay,
to 24, this one will be 32
okay.
and it will be okay. Now you see
That it doesn't have to
it.
be at 150, 140.
Yeah, it doesn't really necessarily, it's not it doesn't really need to be at 140 or 150. It depends on if you want to use percentage, it is fine. If you want to use the addition of 8, it is
Okay,
also fine.
I don't think it's in percentage because when I just put it, you just put like when I put the frame
Okay,
was so wide.
like it's 140.
Yes, the frame
Okay,
was so
yeah.
wide.
Okay, I get. Then you have to add percentage to the front. If you are using 140 as a value, you use it as a
Percentage.
percentage. Yeah, 140%. So
Okay,
it will give you this.
okay. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Sorry, can I ask something? Now
Yeah,
that
your
we are
question,
on
please.
the line
Sorry,
height.
guys, please give me a few minutes. Please give me just 1 second or more.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry guys, I'm back. So someone wants to ask a question. Who was that?
Yeah, sorry, good evening.
Good
I
evening.
wanted to ask something. So yeah, I was checking line by like 1.2 depending on like your choice of major. Because I was seeing something like minor, third, second, third, or third major, stuff like that. So basically, um for whatever thing you are going to use, there's always like a multiplier for the line height. Let's say you have 14 now, you multiply it by 1.2 or 1.4 just to get your line height. So I wanted to like ask on that one because I was not really clear on it.
Okay. There are different approach to getting line height. I'm coming. Let me try and do 24 multiplied by 1.4. It's going to give us 33.6. So yes, there's also something like the major force, like you said, the minor and golden ratio and all of that. So, but I don't know, personally for me and for most other designers that I've encountered with, they usually practice using the percentage or the round number of using 8. So if you say you want to use to multiply this one by 1.4, you might not always get round numbers here, which is not
Yeah,
advisable.
so
As you
they
see,
were like,
as you
they
look
said
at
something.
when I first started with this design, I saw something like 14 here, 14 point something. I had to change it to 14 and round it up to 14 because it's just nice for you to have rounded figures and don't have points. So, but there are actually those rules, those format actually exist, whereby you are going to you be familiar, you would come across that if you are using mostly plugins for your style guide, for your test style guide. If you are using plugins, then you have to use it will tell you to choose your multiplier, either 1.5, 1.2, whether you want to use the major fault, you want to use the minor, you want to use the golden ratio, which is 1.24 and stuff like that. But basically, all those ones are getting way too complicated, and I don't think it's in practice anymore like that. So it's just like I've said earlier, it's just you using the percentage, or you just stick to using 8. You pick the one that works for you in the two. But using decimal points, I won't advise that. Nelson, are you clear?
Yes, yes, thank you.
Francis, your hands was raised.
Yes. I wanted to ask, how do you select, like, you see the way you have everything here, like UI layouts, then number one, visual elements, consistency and usability. How do you select everything and like put them in a frame? Or like, yeah, like the way you select everything and then put it in a frame or something without mixing it up. Because I tried it and it's like I just mashed everything up together.
I don't understand. Putting it in a frame, you will have your frame already before you start typing and inputting your other elements. For
Yes,
example,
like for one.
for this particular design, I have my frame. It is right now. This is the frame. Then I click on test. So I click on this inside this frame. Automatically, the test comes in. Then I type, and I can increase
Okay,
the
so
size to 48. So it's in the frame like this. This test is actually in this frame.
if you want to make any changes to it, like the alignment and everything, it's just the frame you have to select.
You just select the test.
What if it's more than one text? Like the way they are like four different things. Like you've duplicated
Like
frames
this
already
ones.
on it. Yes, like here that you've duplicated frames on it and all that.
So this test, this is not a frame, this is a test, this is a test, this is a test. Well, I can also turn it to frame individually. But I think your question now is, how do we align? Let's say this one is like this one is like this. How do we now align them?
Yes, everything.
Okay, you can either do this, select the three of them. I will say that you use auto layout. It will align them for you automatically. Or instead of using auto layout, you can use if you come here, look at this, align horizontal centers.
Okay.
If I click it, it's going to align the horizontal centers for me. Then you can now do this also, just to have distribute vertical space. You can also do it here. distribute vertical spacing. So it's going to have consistent space between. Then you can now change this one. If I want this one to be 32, either drag it from here like this, or I can come here and just type in 32. So they will have 32 apart.
Okay.
Then I can now move them.
Okay.
So whatever space I want to move them to.
Okay. Thank you. I understand now.
All right, welcome. So any question before we actually start the class for today? All right. So today we'll be looking at some design principles, and if time permits us, we'll be doing some UI design soon. Probably maybe just one, because I don't want us to spend much time again in this class. So, can you guys see my screen? Week 3,
Yes,
class
I
9.
can.
That's correct. Are we in week 3, class 9? Hello, can you guys hear me?
You're correct.
Yes, we can. We can.
Yes, you
Okay.
can.
I said, is this correct? Week 3, class 9.
Yes.
Yes.
I think so. Yes. Yes.
Wow. That means we've gone part 3. Third week is over now. We have 3 more weeks to go. All right. Yeah, so this class we'll be discussing design laws and principles of user interface. As you all know, they are aside from UI UX, generally for orderliness or for a successful whatsoever, there has to be a laid down laws and principles. So UI UX design is guided by several fundamental principles and laws that help us create effective and user-friendly interface. So we are going to be exploring some of those laws in this class. So the first law we are going to look at is Hick's law. What does this law state? This law states that the time that it takes for a person to make a decision is directly proportional to the number of choices available. In UI UX, this translates to minimizing complexity by offering users fewer options or grouping related choice to streamline decision making. So to explain this, what this actually means is in your user interface, in your design layout, try as much as possible to make decision making straightforward. And I would like to put in an example. Okay, let me use this analogy. I don't know, is any one of us familiar with Panasonic? The Panasonic television.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. If you look at the remote of that particular television, you will notice that it has numerous buttons. Like even you as a user, unless you want to press 1, 2, or other numbers, if you want to press some other thing, you have to look at the remote and look for which one you want to press. Like, which one do I even want to press it? Because there are a lot of options on that particular remote. So you have decision making is not straightforward. You have to look at various options that you have on ground, and sometimes it might be tiring. It might not be even in remote wise. It might be just normal product whereby you are giving user different options to pick from, and you're not streamlining their options for them. You might tire some people up. Some people might just get tired by the way and just say, "Guy, I know they do again." So that's basically what Hick's law explains. Another law like that is Fitts law. And Fitts law is all about making interface efficient. Yeah, before we continue, you guys will have noticed that Miss Amy K is not on the call during the last class and this class also. She's actually under the weather, so she haven't been feeling much okay lately, and that's why she has been absent from the classes. So it would be a good deed if probably at the end of the class we can just enter DM and just reach out well. Yeah, so let's proceed. Fitts law actually is about making user interface efficient and user-friendly. It states that the time required to move to a target area like a button is a function of the distance to the target and its size. In simple terms, bigger and closer targets are easier to click. And this law emphasizes the importance of well-sized and well-placed interactive elements for user ease rather. If you can remember in the last class, I told you, okay, I think it was Nelson that asked that particular question regarding the battery of our status bar not at the extreme edge and why it is in a box and why it's not just alone. And I said the reason in the class, and what I said was that what are you doing? What I said was that it is something I took into practice myself, which is kind of very, very okay, and actually obeys this Fitts law, which says that user should be able to click whatsoever, like your call to action, if it is a call to action or your target area, like a button, they should be able to have access or to clicking or to moving to that particular area faster. Just like what we discussed in the last class too, whereby we position a button in the middle and one at the bottom. So it's make users to actually click the one at the bottom faster. So doing that obeys this law. And also having a button like this, I believe you guys can still see my screen.
Yes, I can see your screen.
Yeah, so I believe, and also having a button like this, I'm coming. You can remember in the last class we did when we are replicating this design. This is a button, right? And this is also a button. But you can see this button. This is skip button. This is a test button. You can call it a tertiary button. So it is very small. It will be very easy for me to click on this next than it will be for me to click on this skip. Let me just ungroup this for you to see what I'm talking about. So this one and this one, you see, this one will be easy and this one is not easy. So what I did while we were redesigning, I don't know if anybody can remember, but what I did is actually duplicate this button. Is that Rosemary? Bright. Why is it bright every time? Mr. Bright. So you can remember what I did in the last class. Okay, sorry, well, it wasn't the last class. I think it was when we were designing this particular screen. What I did was that I copied this one, I make it like this. So it's actually the same button, and I set this one to skip. I change this one to skip, then I align to the left. What I did is this color, because this is not in color. So this color, I just reduce the opacity of this color to 0. So now we have this button. But meanwhile, as we have this button, we still have enough area for me to click as a user, because all of this frame is this button. I don't necessarily need to click on this test for me to be able to skip. Once I click anywhere in this area, it's going to actually work. It's going to actually respond. So that's another way of obeying Fitts law. That's another way of obeying Fitts law. So the other law we'll be considering is Jacob's law. So Jacob's law is coined by Jakob Nielsen. Emphasizes more on user and comfortability. And it prefers interfaces that are familiar to each other. That means that as a user, we are going to, research shows that as a user, you're going to like a user interface that is familiar. Just like we have that is what I believe this guy tried to do with Twitter. So if you look at the difference, is not that much. And also it's something we can actually tell that, okay, this design is actually very, very related to this. So unlike that design, just normal design, even if it is application, if you look at your most bank applications, even though the interface is quite different, but the logic behind them is quite the same. when you log into your dashboard, when you log into your application, the first thing you see is your home page, your home screen, where you have your this thing. You first have your money. You have your money, the amount you have in your bank accounts or in that particular fintech company. Then also you can have transaction history on that same home page, just a little one where you can now say view more. Then also you can have quick access where you can just make quick payments like your electricity bill or stuff like that. So those kind of things actually, that is actually obeying Jacob's law. Something that okay, it is already in the market. It's already, users are already familiar with this. So you try and make something that is familiar. Users are more comfortable. This law says that users are more comfortable to seeing those kind of interfaces. So the law of accessibility. Accessibility is a principle of making digital products usable by individuals with disability. So this includes consideration of screen readers, keyboard navigation, and other assistive technologies. Ensuring accessibility is not only an ethical responsibility, but also enhances the user base. So what this actually means, like it said, users, individuals with disabilities, it might be color blindness, it might be hearing disabilities, it might be whatsoever. So you try as much as possible to make your application accessible by everybody. Just like, for example, on my own PC now, I'm using a Windows PC. I have something that is called the voice access, which is kind of similar to the Siri on iPhones and Google on Androids. So those are actually made for accessibility purpose. So let's say, okay, there's an application that's what application can I use? Okay, let me use a book application. Some applications that have lots of libraries where you can actually read novels from or other books. And this kind of application has this thing, a screen reader as an option, whereby it can read aloud what's on the screen for you, for users. It can be as simple as that. It can also be a keyboard navigation where we have assistive navigation buttons on your in your app, embedded in your application. Those are the stuff that make your applications accessible to users, to wide range of users. So it's not just limiting it to a particular set of people. Others to have access to it regardless of their disabilities. So always make your application accessible. Must obey the law of accessibility. So another law we'll be considering is the law of simplicity. So this law is often referred to as the KISS principle, which stands for the keep it simple, stupid. So it is a fundamental guideline in UI UX design, and it advocates for simplicity in designs, and by emphasizing that simplicity is the key to effective and user-friendly interface. So it's not necessary for you to have a cumbersome user interface or user interface jam-packed with lot of information. Like we said earlier, that even alone can confuse users and will not let them to have a clear decision making. So just keep your user interface simple, and yeah, it might be stupid, but as long as it's actually doing its function, that's all that matters, and it is user friendly. So you just keep it simple. It's not necessary for you to have lot of this thing, lot of too much complexity in your design. So the other one we'll be considering is law of consistency. And consistency here, it is a fundamental principles of in UI UX design, and users should experience a consistent look and behavior throughout the application or website. Feedback, on the other hand, is providing user interface with clear responses to their action. So this should have been law of consistency and feedback. Law of consistency and feedback. So let me just change that. Law of consistency and feedback. Law of consistency and feedback. Yeah, so what does this law actually state? Let me go back to my prototype. So this law states that consistency is a fundamental principle in UI UX design. So users should experience a consistent look and behavior throughout the application or website. And feedback, on the other hand, is about providing users with clear responses to their action, such as button press or form submission. So consistency and feedback enhance the predictability and usability of the interface. So what does this actually mean? Let me show you an example in our design. Let me talk about consistency. Basically throughout this bootcamp and throughout this training, you can see us measuring consistency. That shouldn't be a new word to you. So if you look at this particular frame now, look at the position of this button. Let me ungroup this so we can actually get the actual position. Look at the position of this button. You can see it here. It is 556. I can also get it by holding my alternate key and coming to this top. 556. Can you see 556 written there in red? Let's consider the up one now. So to the top, it is 556 distance. So look at this one now. Even though it is a different screen, it is on a different screen. Let me ungroup this. It's still 556. So that's consistency across your design. So if you have this button, if you look at this button here too, it's the same thing. It is also in position of 556. Even regardless that I have areas or spaces here, I could have shifted it to, but I decided to keep it at this particular level, not just for design purpose, but because it actually obeys a particular law, which is the law of consistency. And what does the law of feedback actually means? That's in this scenario now, as I click on continue, I get a feedback that, okay, your email has been verified. That's a kind of feedback. That's normal, something that is common. But another one I would like to bring to our attention that we might make mistake of is probably in this kind of button now, this kind of situation where we have to verify our email address. In some scenario, you will have seen some applications that we just said, if you've input an incorrect PIN, it will just show red here. Everything will just be red. It won't really tell you that, okay, you have inputted a wrong OTP, or it won't really give you what really happened, but it will just show you that, okay, this is red. And basically, as a tech enthusiast that most of us are, you understand, okay, I actually I've inputted a wrong code. That is why this thing is showing red. But not in all cases. There might be some user case whereby even though it's showing red, some people may understand that, okay, red actually means error or danger or something. They will be like, what's happening? It's not straightforward. So it is best practice to, even after you've highlighted this as red, you still tell them that, okay, you have inputted a wrong OTP or a wrong code or something like that. That's another practice of feedback, of obeying the law of feedback. So it can also be in our input field whereby your first name is not correct and you created the password. Instead of just said you don't have to just say red here. You can tell them, okay, your password should be a minimum of 8 characters and should have special characters like this and like that. So make your feedback to be very intuitive. You should communicate it should be very understandable and straightforward. So that's what that particular law is talking about. So yeah, and that's the end of those are the laws we'll be considering. There are more laws regarding UI UX. We have the law of hierarchy, we have the proximity law. So just as an assignment now for yourself as a take-home, just go on Google and search for different laws and principles of UI UX design. You're going to have lot of it. So tonight we discuss Hick's law, we discuss Fitts law, we discuss Jacob's law, we discuss law of accessibility, and we discuss law of simplicity and also consistency and feedback. So those are the basic keys or basic principles you should ensure that your design actually follows. Yeah, so far, any question? Question, please. I want you guys to ask a question, or I can ask question myself. Mr. Ali Dalaja, are we together?
Yeah, we're very much together, sir.
All right, sir. And has it been flowing? Is it quite understandable?
Oh, yes, definitely.
Taiwo, Precious. Taiwo, Precious, are you there? Taiwo.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Oh, okay. So what you just talked about now, that if you want to put how should I say, like feedback, like let's say in red now, you want to put like words to show if someone has input wrong data on the
Yes.
app. Yes. So is it that when you are doing the design, you also make a page for
Yes,
wrong?
definitely, you make a
Okay.
page for it's your work as a product designer. You design to detail. You design every single page you design.
Okay.
So yeah,
Okay.
your
Thank
developer
you.
will implement. Yes. So any other question? Frankly, how far are you there? Hello, Frankly.
I'm here, boss.
Where
Yeah, I'm here,
Um,
boss. She actually asked my question, but I just wanted to know. So, like the error page you said will be creating it as well. So, if I'm designing, I would have to create a page for as many possible errors that are there. For
yes.
example, I'll create the page for error in user name. I'll create the page for error in this thing in the password. I'll create
Okay. I think your network is kind of bad, or maybe it's my own that is lagging. But I can see that you already finished talking. So yeah, I think your question is that creating pages. Yeah, definitely, as a UI UX designer, as a product designer, you are responsible for creating all and every of the screens. Even for this screen, if I have inputs, when a user inputs a wrong email, the interface that is supposed to see, you'll be the one to create it. So the reason why I'm not going into that much of a detail is because this is just for practice. But if you're actually implementing this, definitely you'll be creating for all, even for this input. This one is now, this is the inactive state, and this button should be something like this. For the inactive, it should be something like this. So you're going to create another page that is actually for the active, so that, okay, when user, now let me copy this and paste this here. So you create another page that, okay, let me say this is now filled. So this one will be not, this one will be e.g. Opeyemi any longer. It should now be my real name, and it won't be italic. Opeyemi, it will just be normal, regular. I might be, yeah, regular is still okay. And this one I might now be our primary color, which is primary. Then I'll try and reduce that to this side, just to know, okay, this guy has been filled. So then I can do this, copy properties, select this, and paste properties. So you can also copy properties in your design to allow fast work. Paste properties. So it will carry the properties of this ones and enter the second one. So this one, I will just copy this one. Let me paste to replace. Also, you can do paste to replace in your design. Paste to replace too. Then I can add this one to my name. I think then the password should be X blah 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 1 2 3 small, then @90. So this is basically what you need to create as. Then this one will now change, because now I've input all my details. This one can now change to our primary color back. So I believe you see how I I did this from this page we have on ground already. So it's not something that is going to be hard. It all depends on your level, the amount of time you practice, and how proficient you become with designing. So you just copy this, duplicate, and just scratch and do this thing. Even though it is a wrong password, then you can also do this, duplicate this, then you can just do this one to be red. This one can be red. You can have a stroke of red also. Then you can now do this. You can now duplicate this one and tell them that and delete this one. So I can now say password must contain at least eight characters. So that's the info there. Then this one, you can just move it a little bit. Okay, it's not layout, so it's not movable like that. So I have to decouple or do some settings. So basically, pretty much that's it. You see, and this one, we go back to disable. I'll just copy this and replace here. So you see pretty much how I've designed two different screens from this initial screen. So it's not something that is it's not hard. It's something that is just need constant practice. I believe you understand. Do we get Franklin and the
Yes.
person that asked that question?
Yes, I get now.
All right. So any other question? Yeah, and see guys, UI UX might look simple and straightforward as I'm actually doing it now, but sincerely, you guys need practice yourself, constant practice yourself, like regular practice yourself. This is just the tips of an iceberg. This is just simple stuff. So because basically myself too, nobody taught me how to, okay, I won't say nobody taught me, probably maybe YouTube did, but then it was kind of, okay, I want to know how to do this thing. Then that was when I actually look out to the materials that will actually help me to accomplish this. So because there are more to this design, like if you look at this design, you think, okay, it's just something that will carry rectangle, add the corner radius, put a text on top, and put a button here. But no, it is not. It is something I've designed to be you can see this text also moving in, something like I've designed it to be responsive. All these ones are something you can get based on constant practice and continuous learning. It's not something that can just come from yourself or something that you think that at the end of the bootcamp you will get to know. No, it's something you can actually, is something you have to like read up yourself and watch YouTube videos, a lot of it. So any other question? Okay, I believe there's no any other question. This is 7:44. We still have about 20 minutes or so. So let's replicate some of our design. So we are done with design principles. So now that I'm not on that screen, I know it's not I'm not expecting all of us to have a correct answers, but I think we should have a glimpse of what we just discussed in class just now. So I'll be calling on Stella. Stella, are you there? Stella, are you there? Can you unmute yourself if you are there?
Hi, is this my own Stella?
Yeah, I think that's the Stella we have here. Yeah, you.
Oh, yes, I'm here.
All right, Ma. Can you just make mention of one of the design principles or design laws that we learned today, that we talked about? Anyone that comes to your mind?
Oh,
Even if you don't get it, just try. Just see anyone that you think it is, sounds like it, or something.
no, sorry. Let me just get it right, please.
Okay, Charles Okoro here. Are you there? Charles, Mr. Charles.
Yes, yes, I'm here.
Yeah, can you help
I
Stella
actually-
out?
Yeah, I'm here.
Can you help Stella out?
Okay. Um, we have the law of consistency and feedback
Okay,
thing.
thank you. Just
Sorry,
finish the law.
accessibility,
Accessibility,
simplicity.
yeah, thank you. Accessibility, that works too. Accessibility is fine.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so we have accessibility, we have feedback, we have Jacob's law, we have Fitts law. Fitts law deals with what? Anybody? In your own language, in your
Wait,
own terms, in your own explanation.
that
Francis,
was the first one you explained, right?
I don't know.
It's the one that you don't give too many options, don't make it complex,
Okay, Nelson.
just straightforward kind of thing.
Okay, all right, Nelson. Is she right?
It's basic. Can you hear me?
Is she right? Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. It's basically about making interfaces efficient and user friendly.
Okay,
At least
anybody
that's
else?
what I got.
Anybody else want to try? The Fitts law. Frankly, oh yeah, go ahead, please. Franklin, go ahead, please. I think your hand was raised. Okay, anybody else want to try that? Try that out. Fitts law.
You should know that their space.
Okay, I think your network is kind of bad. Yeah, but since you said spacing, I think you're kind of on the right track. So, Francis, no, you mixed that to be something else. That's not Fitts law. Fitts law is actually, yeah, when we said, Nelson said efficiency, you can actually use the word efficient or functionality. So when we talk about fit, like the name implies, okay, Pressed, do you want to try? Go ahead and unmute yourself.
Okay. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. I think he's actually talking about the I don't know the tools in the interface, making it kind of properly sized. You get properly sized for it to be easy for users to
Yes,
use.
exactly. So if you want to, Fitts law actually it actually deals with you positioning your element or your button, or even though it's your size or whatsoever, to a point whereby it is easily accessible to the user for them to actually interact with, either a button for them to click, make the button, like the name imply, fit, make the button fit for clicking, make it fit to be interactable, to be for people to interact with. So that's basically what Fitts law is talking about. Lydia, any question?
Yes, please. So with the Fitts law, can you also describe it as ensuring visibility or something?
Visibility.
Because once the contents are visible enough, the user can be able to access them without getting stressed or something.
Yeah, there's actually a law of visibility also, which actually is pretty much what you've actually explained.
Oh,
Yeah, it's pretty much what you've actually explained. So, any other question? Sorry, guys, is my network good? Can you guys hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you.
All right, that's nice. Okay, should we proceed to just doing this home page? What's the time now? 7:50. We have 10 minutes. Can we do this in 10 minutes? Or we should just start and finish it to whatsoever time? What's you guys suggest? What's you guys' opinion?
I think we should start it because since you've given us since we already have a basic knowledge of it already, so I feel we can just brush through and get it. At least from what you taught us in the last class, at least the time and the status bar and
Is
everything
out
else
of
is
it.
there
Yeah,
already.
is out of it. Yes. So
So
frankly, go ahead.
just add yes.
Frankly, want to
Okay,
talk.
I actually feel we can just start and whenever we finish, that would be it.
Okay. All right. Nelson, any your opinion?
So like for those onboarding screens you gave us last time, just give deadline so that once we finish that one, we can work on the next thing.
Okay, all right. Noted. Okay, let's go back here. Let me just copy this and drop here. I don't know, I'm always tempted to use this stuff whenever, because it's actually still in the frame. Maybe I have to be exporting and also importing it back as an image so we can better work with it. Okay, let me just do this. What can I do? Okay, let's go ahead. Yeah, this is, you know how this is created. You know how, okay, you don't know how this is created. Okay, I think for this class, we will only be creating, don't let us enter this design. For this class, we will only be creating components for this. We've not discussed components. We are still going to discuss components in our future class. But I think we already made mention of it when we were talking about style guide. We were talking about component and style guide. So for your style guide, you can easily reuse. And I've not shown us an example of that. You can easily change or reuse whatsoever style guide or components you've actually created. And what do I mean by that? You see all these test styles we have created, because we created these test styles and because we have implemented them in our design. Now, let me say this is 12, right? This is body 12. This also is body 12. Body 12. And this are both body 12. Body 12. Now you see, look at what is written here, body 12, because it's actually, I've used the style guide. Now let's assume we now come that, okay, we want to change our style guide from the body. We want to change the body because the body is kind of too small after we've actually done our iteration and we've put it out for user testing. We found out that, okay, users are complaining that these buttons are too small and they can't see. They will now say, okay, well, let's change our design. Let's just change this button text from 12 to, it is 12, from 12 to 14. So in order for us coming here and change for each and every one of them, let's assume we've designed all of our app. We have completed the application and we've actually used our style guide. Like, yeah, we've used our style guide, thanks to God Almighty. So what we can actually do to make our work easy is just by coming to the style guide. This is the body we use, right? Body 2. I'll just click on this edit style. Once I click on it, I change this 12 to 36. As you can see, it changed the size in this design. It changed it in all these four boxes, and that is because I've edited it here, and because I've also assigned them to be body 2 style guide. So similarly, it is what it would have done if I've had hundreds of screens. It will change wherever I use body 2 as a test. It will change it to 14 for me. I hope you get that. Same as color also. If I had used, let me say, if I had used this one, and this to be our primary color, and this is our primary color. So, and also I've used it for the button. Okay, let's use it for the button. I think the button is a better example because we have button in many screens. So this, no, not this. This, and this. Yeah, those. We use our primary color for them, right? Okay, now we now say, okay, we want to change, like I say for MTN, now MTN is yellow. They want to change from yellow to green. And they have actually used a style guide for their design, all of their design, just like I have done for all these onboarding screens. Let's assume these onboarding screens now have a screen of like up to 1 million. And I've used a style guide for them. So easily, if I want to change our branch color from this color to another one, I will just come here and change from here to, if you want to change it to blue, let me change it to blue, or let's change it to something that is visible. Let me change it to green, this kind of green. And as you can see, it's already changed to green all over, across board, across all the players that have actually used green. This one, if I change this one to, where's this color coming from? This one is 0. So that's pretty much why it is very, very good for us to use star guide. So any questions so far regarding star guide? So for that, I already said we won't be designing the screen again. So I'll just put us through on how to create star guide for this particular component. So now this is a frame. This is the status bar. We can make this an asset. We can make this by assets. A component is also like an asset. So if I make this one an asset like this by coming here and clicking on, let me Control Z. See this create components. So by create components, I'll be able to see it in assets here. I'll be able to see it in assets. Our libraries, local components. This is status bar, right? Okay, look at it here, status bar. But the reason why it is that there's a much simpler way. I won't say simpler. Normally, if you do this is what you guys too will experience. But there's a better way to arrange this by having a style guide already in place. So by having a style guide, you have a frame for some other stores. But we won't be going into that details here. But you can see status bar here. You can see status bar here, and I can just bring it in. And the reason why this is actually good is if, like I said, Figma is a collaborative tools whereby you can use it in your organization. For this particular project now is a bootcamp application. We can also have another project that is not even related to bootcamp application, but it's another application. But because we are under we have a same file, I can now publish this component. I can publish this by coming here and click on publish. So by publish this, everybody in our organization or in the team will be able to use this particular file. We'll be able to use this particular, if it is button, they'll be able to use this particular button. So we are going to be doing this our navigation bar tonight. That's what we'll be doing tonight because of our time. So to recreate this navigation bar, this is what we will do. As you can see, this navigation bar has a width of 360 and a frame of 69. So I'm going to create that. I'll just come here and type in 360 and what? 69. 360 and 69. So I've done that. Then I will do this. I will now add the corner radius. As you can see, it has the corner radius of just this top edge and not the bottom. So I'll click on this, the frame, and come here. Look at this corner radius. I could have added corner radius from here direct and say 12, but it will give all round corner radius. I don't want all round corner radius. I only want for the top. So what I will do is come here and this place, I'll click on 8. So you see this one now, it is see the symbol here for this place. This one is for what? For the other one, top right corner. This one is for bottom left corner, and this one is for bottom left, bottom right, bottom left, bottom right, and this one is top right. So this one too, I will give 8 for this. I will give 8 for this. Then I can now I like using corner smoothing. So you use corner smoothing like that. Then
you wrote 6 for the second one.
Oh, thank you. 8. So it has to be consistent. You guys shouldn't forget. We've been discussing, we've been making mentioning consistency right from the beginning of this bootcamp. So that's it. Thank you for that observation. So then we are going to do for this. We have home, we have classroom, we have assignments. So I'll just my test T, then I'll write home. This is home. So for this home, we have this home icon. Can somebody tell me a plugin I'm going to use to get my icon, please? Guys, are you here?
The materials and symbols.
Material symbol. Yeah, you can use material symbol.
Material symbols.
Yeah, you guys use material symbol for now because it's kind of it's just random. is what most developers to use. They have the assets, I think, on GitHub or something. So this is material symbol. I need home. Material symbol is kind of similar to material design also. They are both for Google. You can see Google symbol. Look at it here. So they are both for Google. So I have home. I click on home. I search for home. This is home here. I look for the one that I want. Which one should we use? Okay, let's use this. This one is fine. So it's fine. So I have home. So because I don't want to come back here and be looking for opening the Figma the plugin all over again. I'll just look for everything I need once. So I'm going to change this from 24 dp to 20 because 24 is actually too big. Yep, 20 is okay. So I'll look for classroom also. Classroom. I'll look for classroom. Sorry, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Class. Okay, this one is not showing classroom. Let's look for something similar. Book. Okay, this is it here. Book. This is this 20. Then also assignments. This assignment should be something like to do. Okay, not to do. Task. Assignments. Okay, assignment actually works. Then profile. This one will be profile. So you're going to be using this profile. Which one should we use? Okay, this one. So if I click on profile now, it's going to replace this icon because I'm actually selecting it. So I will actually click outside and make sure I'm not selecting anything. Then I'll click on my person. So it's inside. So I can now, do that. So for me to get consistency, like same thing for every other, is best practice. I just duplicate this. I'll first do this and Shift A this. As you can see, Nelson, you see this also is like in the box. I imported this from Google Material. Automatically, they put it in the box for me just to have consistent width and height. So that's what that actually works for. So the calculation will be quite simple, quite easy. Now I know from this place to this place is 16. Same thing for this place, which is 20 by 20. So I can get 16. But if it had been just the inside, this is 12-16. So there's no way I would have gotten 16 for my side if I want to keep consistent. I hope you get that. So this one now is 9. I will change this to 4. Yeah, 4 is okay. And you can see, can somebody tell me what's wrong with this frame? I need someone to tell me what's wrong with this frame. Francis. Okay, Michael, go ahead.
Yes.
Michael, go ahead.
The two side paddings are too much.
Okay, I'm not even talking about the padding. I'm talking about the entire frame. Something is wrong with it. It is not where I want it to be. Can you tell me how I know that and why? And why do I say so? Yeah, go ahead, Mr. Adelaja.
Okay, the frame is not actually inserted in the
Yeah, thank you. So the frame is not actually in this frame. So if I actually move this white frame, I won't be moving this home together with it because it is not inside. And the reason why it is not inside, the reason why we can know that is if you see it's giving me frame. So I have to bring it out and bring it in back and make sure it's not showing any frame and make sure this frame is actually highlighted. Now it is inside. So now I have this frame. I can now say, okay, this is 16 by 16. I'll make this to be fill container. Then I make this one to be in middle. So this is this like this. So what I can now do is I'll just put all of this up. So I will now duplicate this. For fast work, I will duplicate this. After duplicating, I will add auto layout to them. Then I can now duplicate the rest. So I won't need to bother with alignment. Okay, I think I need just 4. So then I will copy this, click on this, right click on it, and click on paste to replace. Francis, any question?
Yes, please, can you like repeat what you did with the after you drag it inside the
Okay.
home? Yeah, like
After I
after
drag
I
this,
drag it inside
after
the
I drag
frame.
this frame
Yes,
inside this one, because I already know
yes.
that I need 4 instances. I need 4 stuff like this. So I'm going to duplicating this one into 4 places. I can just press Ctrl D and move, Ctrl D and move, and also press Ctrl D and move. Or I just
No,
also
like
do
the alignment is what I mean. Like,
how I brought this. Sorry.
so the alignment, the sizing, the corner radius, and then, no, not the radius. The oh,
Okay, this is what we did. Look at this particular frame now. You see, it is 360 by 69. Please follow along. It is 360 by 69, right? So what we did is actually bring in a frame and we'll make our frame to be 360 by width and 69 by height, right? You get up to that point. Then we now did corner radius, individual independent corner radius. Like this one is the top left. We made the top left to be 8. We make the top right also to be 8. That's the 2 we need, right? Then I had corner smoothing to it. So then we now look for we input our test 2. I click on test. I click, make sure if you are clicking outside, it should be outside, but I want it to be inside this frame. So I make sure my cursor is in the frame. I right click, then I input my test. Oh, now what we now did is we enter material symbol or material design plugin to bring in all of this icon. Do you get up to that point? Do you get now?
yes, I do.
All right. So now after we did that, this is not in a frame. This is not in a frame. So what I did is I now align this, I now make this and this, select the 2 of them and add auto layout to them. Shift A. Then I set this test to fill container and not fist. No, I don't want that to fill. I only want this test to fill. Then I want it to be in the middle. Yeah. Fill and it should be center aligned. If it is left aligned, it should be like this, but center aligned, I want it to be. So then we did this. That's how we did this. So I now said we need 4 instances like this. So I'm going to duplicate this in 4 places, but I won't be duplicating in 4 places direct. I want to duplicate one first and add auto layouts to it. So I can now duplicate the remaining 3. So I won't bother with alignment and stuff like that. So now this is an auto layout. Don't forget, all of them are in auto layout. So now I copy this, then I click on this one to replace. I make sure I'm not clicking this thing. Let me go back to my layers. You see, I'm clicking this home. It made us do a mistake. Now this is the problem I was emphasizing with Nelson. Now this is not in a group. This is actually an icon. This is also an icon. This icon and this icon are not the same size. So if I click on this icon, copy it and come and replace here, paste to replace. You see how it's pushed this home to the bottom. And if I look at the size too, let me look at the size. It is 17.5, 17.5, and this one is 17.5, 17.5. Okay, that's because this one is width of 12, and this one too is width of 12. But some icon might not be width of 12. This one is width of 14 now. This one will not be the same thing. If I paste this one to replace, this one will not be the same. Now let's look at this one is now 16.5, 16.5. So we want to avoid that. I will just delete all of this because I've made the mistake from the beginning, which is I think it was when I was moving this stuff. I've moved the home away from its box. This is box here, and I've moved it away from its box. So I will just copy this box. I'll just copy this one. Sorry. I'll just copy this one out back. Or let me just bring in another one. Material symbol, home, right? Home, I need home. Home, and this is 20. So where's home? Imagine, we saw home now. I'm not saying home again. Okay, is it? So this is home. I bring it in. Now it is in that box. It is in that box, and it is 20 by 20. This one is 20 by so now I can now bring this, not this, the box, entire box. I can bring it in, and I can now have my test back, which is home. Then I add auto layout to it. I set it to be center. This one to be field container. This one should be like this. Then this one should be middle align. Now we have this. Then this one should be 4 apart. So I can now duplicate this, and duplicate this, and just select all of them. I want to add auto layout to them. I like it's not layout a lot. So I will now select this frame also. Let me just cut. I'll cut. Then I'll paste to replace here. Paste to replace. Now it will be 13 by 13. This one will be 13 by 13, regardless of the size of this shape inside, because I already have a building block for them. So this one too, I will cut this and replace, and replace. Then this one too, I will cut this and replace. These parts might get complicated, but as you practice, the more you practice, the more you get to understand. So now you see this middle now, it is 8. I can actually increase by doing this, or I can come here by just putting 24 or 25 or whatever number. But I want to save myself the stress of that, because that's not what I need for now. What I need is just to put this in auto, so that anywhere I increase it to increase uniformly together. So now that I set this to auto, I'll just set it to center align. I can now change this one to classroom. I can change this one to classroom and this one to assignments. Okay, I already know this thing will give me problem because of the container size. So what I will do to avoid the unnecessary error is to just duplicate. Is to just duplicate this one. I'll duplicate this one, then I'll just cut this one and paste to replace with this, and just delete this all. So this one now can be assignments, and the last one can be just profile. So that's that. So what we can now do next is, I'm having a low battery. What we can now do next is now color this one, add our color to this one. I'll just come here to give this a color of our main test. Then this one will be these ones. I should have done it before duplicating. These ones will now be
sorry,
body
can I
text.
ask a quick question?
Yeah.
While using 140%, I forgot to ask initially. I got a height of 51, or like something with a 1. It wasn't a normal even number.
Why using 140%? If you're using 140%, you won't get anything. You actually just get 140%. Like for example, this particular test, if I'm using percentage, instead of 20, I use 140%. I'll just have 140% like that. So where did the 51 comes in?
I'm talking about the height itself, like the height. Not
Okay, the height, yeah. Okay, yeah, that doesn't really matter.
Like
those ones actually varies with the kind of font style, type you are using.
Okay.
Some fonts are bigger than
I was
the
just
other, while some
asking
are
if it was
smaller.
an issue or anything. That's what
No, it's
I
not an
wanted to
issue.
know.
It's just you as a designer, you now use your discretion. Now that's when the choice of test you pick now comes into consideration. Do I want this thing to be very eligible, or do I just want it to be to be just small and simple, and I don't need it to be eligible? So it depends on you.
Okay, all right.
It depends on the kind of project you're actually working. So this is this now. I won't be doing, okay, let me just do this circle that is inside here, this circle. So what I will do for this circle is I don't want to disrupt this, so I'll just do the circle outside. Do this. Hold your shift while drawing the circle. So I'll make it to be 20 by 20. 20 by 20 is too small. 25. That's the 25 by 25. Then we made it to be our primary color. This one should be our primary color. So now it is our primary color. Then I'll duplicate this one. I'll bring it out. I'll change it to white. It is white now. I might want to remove this from inside. Okay, I might want to ungroup this. Ungroup. What's happening? Ellipse this. Yes, this one ungroup. Let me just copy. Don't let me alternate. Let me copy, paste, then ungroup. So I'll now change this one to white. I'll change it to white. Yeah, white. Then I can now bring it inside this place. Make sure it is aligned like that. Then I can now frame this together. Copy it or cut it. I'll just use cuts. Then I'll come here to paste to replace. Now you see when I place to replace, you see this one is pushed towards the bottom than the other. So what I just do is because they are in auto layout, I just come here to align center. So now it's kind of a little bit up, a little bit down. It's not all towards the down. So now this is the recreation of this. So what I want us to take notes in this class, I'm having 10% now. So what I want us to do is, we are going to be having different. This actually means what this blue stuff is doing at the back actually means that, okay, this text, we are actually on the home page. Let me change this one to our home color, to our primary color rather. So we're actually on the home page. So if we are on the class, that means this stuff we change to this classroom, and we're on the assignment, this one we change to stuff like that. I think we understand, we get the scope. So what I'm going to do is duplicate this. I will duplicate this one already. Sorry. I'll just duplicate this. Duplicate this again.
Sorry, boss. Attendance.
There won't be attendance
before your battery.
There won't be attendance.
Okay, no attendance.
Yeah, we are 25 here, and I think I already mentioned everybody's name, so I'm familiar with the faces. Francis, any question? Or your hand is just raised?
No.
Okay, thank you. So what I'm going to do now, I want to move this. I want to make this one to be classroom. So what I'm going to do now is that I'll just duplicate this because I want the classroom to have this kind of format. I'll just duplicate this and do this. What should I do? Okay, I'll copy this one in the middle because we are using this one now. I'll copy this one and try to replace with this and change it to white. That's just the fast possible method, and change this home towards classroom. Now this is classroom. Change this home to classroom and increase this chance. Yeah. I did not get the settings of this auto layout right. That's why it's doing this. So now I will delete this classroom. Because they are not auto layouts, everything is like adjusting to each other. So now I want to do this home also. I want this one to just be home. I can duplicate this. Let me duplicate profile. I'll duplicate profile instead. Then I will copy this one. I'll come and replace it with this. Paste to replace. Then I will change the color back to main text. Then I will change this one back to home. I will change this one back to home. So what I can now do now is, because they are not auto layout, I have the privilege of deleting this one and also moving this one to the front, which because it's home. I will just use my backward button on my keyboard to just tap, back. You will get the logic. You will get the logic. We might not get it clearly now, but if you watch the video and put it probably in 0.5 or 1.5 speed, you'll be able to get it very well. So that's how I get for the classroom. Same thing I will do for assignment also. I will just delete this. Let me use this one instead. I'll just use this. So then I will now say duplicate this one. Then I'll now copy this stuff here I will replace it with this. Paste to replace, then change the color to white, then change this text to assignment. I can as well just copy this one and paste assignments. This one should all contents, and this one should all contents. So I can now delete this one. So I need classroom now. I can duplicate this home. I can duplicate this home, right? I can duplicate this home, and what will I do? I will just copy this and paste it here, and paste it here to replace. Paste to replace, then change the background color to our main text. So all this is just design. So I can now delete this one now. So what I just want to show you now is how to now use our components. So I'll select this one and name it to home. I'll rename this to home. I'll rename this to classroom. I'll rename this to classroom, and I'll rename this to assignments, right? Assignments. Then I will now select the three of them. Nelson, I'm coming. I'll select the three of them and create component sets. This one, create component sets. Now I've created component sets. So what's the benefit of this? So if I just copy one of these, I paste it here to replace. Now it is here. So now let's assume I've designed for home screen. I want to design for assignment screen now, and I'm duplicating this. Here. So, and this is not going to be assignment stuff that will be, all the jargons here will be assignments. You know, I need to, because I've designed for assignments already down, I'll just click on this, come here, where we have components for property and home, and I'll just select assignments. It will change to assignment automatically for me, because I've created them as a component set there. So if I publish this, same thing, everybody within our team will be able to use this component, and there will be consistency in all of the design. So Nelson, your question, I think this is where we stop for tonight.